What's up everybody, it's Charlie and I'm back. So in this video I want to celebrate a little bit of our queer history and one of my favorite queer gospel quartet singers, Willmer Broadnax. Little Axe sang during the golden age of traditional black gospel and was a trans man. Little Axe was born in Houston, Texas, and while we don't know much about his early life, we know that his family supported him in his transition. He started his singing career in his teenage years with his brother Willmer Broadnax as part of a group called Little Axe and the Golden Echoes. During that time, Big Axe looked out for his little brother and helped him make sure that he could live the life that he wanted as a stealth trans gospel singer. Singing in a quartet was key to that success. During that period, pianist Willie Love said, Little Axe couldn't sing low because he had a relatively high voice. It wasn't falsetto, it was naturally high. So somebody had to sing the bottom. And he continued that trend by always teaming up with someone who could sing the bottom for his high tenor. He eventually sang with the Five Blind Boys of Mississippi, the Fairfield Four, and the famous Spirit of Memphis Quartet. Little Axe's life is interesting to me because of the intersection of gender and race during the height of Jim Crow segregation. Most of the bathrooms that he used on tour were segregated, so it was common for him not to be able to use the public restrooms. But he had the additional stress of people possibly finding out about his gender identity as well. Despite all of that, Little Axe had a rich love life that was his ultimate undoing. He was killed at age 75 by his then lover Lavinia Richardson, who might I mention was 45 at that time. Get it? Unfortunately, it was a case of Little Axe having absorbed the violence and misogyny of that time. Before his death, he saw his then lover in a car with another man, and instead of handling it calmly, he ran his car into theirs, dragged Richardson out, and threatened her with a knife. He was disarmed by a bystander, but Richardson picked up that knife and stabbed him 3 times. He later died from those wounds, and it wasn't until then that they found out that he was a trans man. I find a lot of hope in Little Axe's story for 3 main reasons. 1, he found community. Throughout his life, he sang in a quartet. So he was surrounded by other men who were there to support him and give him that community feel. 2, he found love. Even though it didn't go well in the end, I know that it's a big fear for a lot of people in the trans community that you'll end up alone forever. And if Little Axe was able to find love way back when, during Jim Crow segregation, when queer issues weren't even mentioned, and dealing with the stress of a black man, I think that we can figure it out in the age of Tinder and dating apps. The third thing is that Little Axe found vocation. He was able to live into his purpose by being a gospel singer. That's something that really resonates with me as a queer Christian, that he got to live into his faith and he got to live into his identity, and that's something that I always want to be able to do, and it's cool to have an ancestor who was able to model that for me way back in the 1940s, and I hope that it's an inspiration to you all now. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. If there's anything that you get out of the story, comment below, and I'll see you guys next time. Deuce.